wicked and unrighteous decrees. I want to give all the honor, glory, and praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAWACHAA, QADASH. Double honors to my elders at Great Millstone, taught me this truth through the Spirit. Single honors to the elect. Peace and blessings be to all the sincere men, women, and children that do consist of the 1/3, and to the confusion of faces in the four corners of the earth. Shalom, shalom. I don't want to make this long, but this is something that I wanted to address. Fox News, new UN-backed legal recommendations normalize sex with minors, outraged critics say. And the reason I want to make this video is because there has been so much slander and defamation of character against the elders when they used to go into the scriptures talking about what would happen if a woman was to be raped. There was a law that a man would have to stay with that woman and take care of her and things of that nature. And also, we're just speaking biologically, a child becomes an adult biologically when they hit puberty. When a young man and a young woman hit puberty, become an adult. But we know, common sense, right? It's not in this today's society, there's no way you can do that and no way you should do that. Get with a child that's of a very young age, because this is a very immoral society. And on top of that, the traditions, it wouldn't even be to bring in to merge two families together. It wouldn't even be to keep the customs of the Bible. It would just be for sexual gratification. And this is just filthy, man. This is nasty. Right? But there won't be no uproar from the other camps out there talking about this type of wickedness. Because now they're saying if it's consensual, then it's not illegal. So what that means is they can woo or sway like a 7 or 8 or 9-year-old. Because you know how these priests are. I'm going to just say that, right? You know what church I'm talking about. And it was at one point, I graduated 2006, and when I was in middle school, I knew there was 2 dudes that couldn't hide it, that they was a part of that alphabet group before it was ever known as the alphabet group. It was always at least 1 or 2 just sprinkled, 1 or 2 that you knew, and there was another one he may have had an effeminate spirit, but you don't think he was. Nowadays, they everywhere. Like the grass that's on the ground. Everywhere you turn, they're everywhere. They're making it a fad. You see what happened with D. Wade? He left Florida because Don DeSantis passed that bill, right, against the alphabet community. And then I saw a video on YouTube where he went to a Knicks game, and they were, forgive me for the noise in the back, I'm at the plantation, and they were berating him. And a young teenager said, why did you mutilate your son? Right? So, like, this society is spiritually Sodom and Egypt, man. And this is why we hope for a new heaven and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. Because really what they're going to be doing, they're just going to be taking it from these young kids. Think about this. Like I said, at one point you just knew who was, a little, waving my hand back and forth, Now it's like, it's a law. It's a fad. And really, it really all started to become more public when a lot of the priests were being called out, when they were being exposed, like around 2010, 2012. Then they started passing these laws. Then they started having these regulations. And now they're saying, well, hell, since they already know what we do, why not make it legal? And that's pretty much what's happening, man. And I find it to be wicked. Isaiah 10:1, woe unto them, woe means destruction, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that right grievousness which they prescribe. Because now your child go to school, you don't know who the teacher is and how they could be persuading your child, whether they could be touching your child, do anything to your child now. Because then they can make it see, I gave him some lollipops, and he said, yeah, he was fine with it. No, you're taking away that child's innocence. That's wickedry, man. wickedry. And right here in the article, which I will leave in the description box for you as well. Let me get my next one. It says, sexual conduct involving persons below the domestically prescribed minimum age of consent to sex may be consensual, in fact, if not in law. So in other words, they're not going to legalize it, meaning put it on paper, but if it's consensual, you can't say it's illegal. So in other words, okay, this 14-year-old girl, she wants to smoke cigarettes and drink. Well, if it's below the domestic age, should it be consensual? I mean, just think about that. I mean, they're going to say, shalom to the brother Shaw. So they're going to say that, well, it was consensual because they agreed to it. It's not right, man. It's not right. But, you know, Job 9:24, the earth given to the hands of the wicked. Micah 2:10, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. Why is it in the power of their hand? I just said in Job 9:24, because the earth is given to the hands of the wicked. But we look for a new heaven and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. So this is just another reason why this double rule must come to an end. So with that being said, pray was edifying, fed, stay in the spirit, don't fear it, just endure it. Ask for forgiveness, pray without ceasing, stay humble, remain diligent. Kwamacha Allah, Mofla Babal, Shalom.